This episode from Driving with Gloves is about a car with curves of a sexy woman, which was driven by brave men who flew to the moon.
Hi, my name is Cor, and welcome to my channel, Driving with Gloves. I always drive with car gloves. Your question might be, why do I drive with gloves? And my answer is, why not?
Hi, handsome.
Who said that?
Cor, it was me.
A talking car, and you even know my name?
Yes, my name is Yvette,
Yvette?
and I know your name. Cor, you are after all the handsome presenter of Driving with Gloves.
Yes, I am.
I am a Corvette C3 Convertible, and I have a Coke bottle design. Or as you see it, the curves of a sexy woman.
Oh, yes you have.
Cor, would you like to review this Vette today?
Of course I won't. After all, you are a Corvette. So, who knows, perhaps I might even become the new Knight Rider.
I can't guarantee you that, but Cor, you should look after your body, otherwise you will become Corvette.
Are you teasing me?
No, I am trying to seduce you.
Well, I'm sure that if Abigail Redford would have been a car, she would look like you. So can I say no? But I do have a problem, Yvette.
You do not have to tell me your problem, Cor, because I know exactly what your problem is.
Oh, really?
Yes, I know your problem, Cor, because I know you can't drive without gloves.
How do you know that?
Because I have seen the episode about you driving a Seat coupe. But I have thought of everything. Look on the passenger seat. You will find a pair of driving gloves in matching colors. Because I want to be driven by you.
Well, in that case, let's put on these gloves and drive. Listen to the sound this Vette makes. This is a Corvette C3 Convertible from 1968, and to me it's one of the most beautiful cars ever built. And the cool thing is that it is still quite affordable. If you look at other cars from the 1960s, for instance like the Alfa Romeo 33 Tipo Stradale, the 33 Tipo Stradale, the prices have gone sky high at the moment. The prices for an Alfa Romeo 33 Tipo Stradale are around 50 million or even more. And if you think that's a high-priced car, you do not even know the prices of a Ferrari 250 GTO, a 250 GTO. These prices are around $55 million. So this is a bargain. But thanks to Simon Car in Agno in Switzerland, I have the opportunity to drive this less priced beauty today. But it cost way less than only 1% of the cars I just mentioned before. But is it less pretty? No, I do not think so. Because look at the beauty of this car.
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Please continue.
Oh dear, I had forgotten that she understands everything. But how is it possible that it is that affordable? Well, let's find out. In the early 1950s, European sports cars were highly popular in America. In 1951, Harley Earl, the chief designer of General Motors, came up with the idea to make an all-American sports car.
He got inspired by a Jaguar XK120, a car which was highly popular under Hollywood stars in those days. And if you see that picture, that's not Clark Gable, but that's me a few years ago in an XK120. And I had some difficulties to get behind the wheel of that XK120 because I'm way too tall.
In 1952, Earl decided to make the coach out of a revolutionary composite material called glass fiber. He got the allowance from GM president Harlow Curtis to build a prototype.
For the ride inspiration, he put a Jaguar XK120 in the GM design studio. The project was called Opel. Yes, you hear it right. Like the former German GM brand Opel. But it took Opel 15 years to give an answer on the Corvette.
So Earl developed the prototype of the Corvette together with the Chevrolet chief engineer Ed Cole in 1952. In July 1953, however, there was a third person showing up, Zora Arcus Duntov, a young engineer born in Belgium with a passion for motorsports. And also Duntov is nowadays recognized as one of the fathers of the Corvette. The first generation Corvette was launched in 1953 with a straight 6-cylinder engine, so it was quite similar to the Jaguar XK120.
But it was too slow and too expensive, so it became obviously no sales hit at all. So Duntov had a brilliant idea: let's put a small block V8 engine in the car.
So the car was changed by 1955 and became, after some other changes, very popular. The C1 is also known as the solid axle Corvette.
After 10 years of production, in 1963, it was replaced by the C2, which was more advanced and had disc brakes all around and independent suspension. The coupe started with a split screen rear window, which was tremendously cool. The C2 had now a name and was called Stingray, and it was available in both coupe and convertible.
During production of the C2, Duntov wanted to change the Corvette into a mid-engine sports car, but that didn't happen until 2019 with the Corvette C8. In 1965, Larry Shinoda designed the Mako Shark 2. It was such a revolutionary car, and as you can see, it already looked like the C3.
In 1968, the third generation Corvette came on the market, the C3. It didn't have a mid-engine, but still front engine, and it was technically based on the C2. And it used again the name Stingray, well, not in 1968 but in 1969, but it was not written as two words but as one word. But the looks of the car were so good, as you can see in this one.
Look at the sexy design. You had the gorgeous convertible, which I'm driving today, and you had the coupe with more stability, but still a detachable roof, a so-called T-top, a targa with a bar in the middle for stability. The pop-up headlights are vacuum operated, as is the door for the hideaway windshield wipers.
The C3 C3 became a huge success, and even NASA ordered Corvette C3s for the astronauts. So it's a bit like a spaceship. And it's fast enough to rearrange your internal organs. Yes, it is.
And by now, you are certainly interested what the engine of the spaceship is.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
The C3 entry level was an L30 327 cubic inch small block V8 with 300 PS and a 3-speed manual gearbox. The highest power output was delivered by the L71 427 big block. It had a power output of 441 PS. And yes, we are talking about a car from the late 1960s. This specific car I'm driving today has a small block 327 cubic inch with a power output of 365 PS and a 4-speed manual gearbox. All small block cars had low profile bonnets. All big block cars had domed bonnets for additional engine clearance with twin simulated vents and 427 emblems on either side of the dome.
However, the C3 started as a beauty, but in 1973 they removed the lovely chrome front bumper. 1 year later, in 1974, they even changed the complete rear of the car. It's a bit like a beautiful woman with a small cosmetic intervention, which can be an upgrade. But then she doesn't know when to stop. And then, in the end, this is the result.
As you could hear before, the car is really loud, but that also makes driving this car a fantastic experience. I couldn't find the horn in this car, but I'm sure that you will never have to use it because people can hear you from miles away. It is always said that American cars do not handle well. I remember reviewing a Ford Mustang from 1966, a fantastic looking car, but the steering of a small aeroplane is way more precise. Also, the rest of the handling was not like in European cars, but this time, in the Chevrolet Corvette C3 Convertible, it was completely different. It was not only the loudness of the engine which was convincing, it was also the sheer power of it. The torsion stiffness of the car is actually not that high, and you could feel that especially in fast bends where the tarmac was not in a good condition. Without seatbelts, you surely do not want to crash this car, but the brakes on this car were excellent. I have learned something by making reviews for driving with gloves. A car does not need to be the best handling or to have the fastest top speed or to have the best looks to become your favorite. A car needs to be enjoyable. You have to fall in love with it, or in this case with her, because after all, I'm driving Yvette. Now I finally understand the Baron von Münchhausen. It is highly enjoyable to ride a cannonball, because this Corvette C3 Convertible is like riding a cannonball.
Slow down. It is not necessary to drive that fast.
Yes, she is a woman, that's for sure. Perhaps one last thing. This might not be the most perfect car, but the looks are overwhelming. It's a bit like a sexy girl on high heels. You wouldn't expect her to run a marathon on them, but by changing her shoes, perhaps she could. Let me switch off the engine for a minute. Thank you very much for watching this episode from Driving with Gloves about this gorgeous Chevrolet Corvette C3 Convertible from 1968. Special thanks goes to Simon Carr in Agno in the south of Switzerland for lending me this car today. Please do not forget to like this video and to subscribe to my YouTube channel Driving with Gloves. Thank you.
And what about me?
Oh, sorry Yvette, you are absolutely right. Thank you very much for seducing me today. See you soon in a new episode from Driving with Gloves.